name is Dana. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make homemade chocolate chip granola bars. Yes, I am a mom who buys prepackaged granola bars all the time for my family. However, I like to make these. The kids truly actually enjoy them, and then I know what healthy ingredients are going into what they're eating. So what you're going to need today is a 13 by 9 baking pan. You're going to need a regular baking sheet. You'll need old-fashioned oatmeal, sliced almonds, brown sugar, some ground flaxseed, a little bit of spray oil, honey, mini chocolate chips, some salt, and 2 egg whites whisked together well, and some olive oil. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start your oven at 325. I have mine ready to go. Then you're gonna take 2½ cups of, again, that old-fashioned oatmeal, a ½ of a cup of your sliced almonds. I usually just pour it right into the mixing cup. It's just easiest that way. You're gonna kind of spread it around a little bit, mix it up. Then on your baking sheet, you're gonna leave that unlined and not sprayed. You're just gonna pour this on it, then you're gonna spread it out. And then we are gonna stick that in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. And you're also going to wanna stir it halfway through. So I'm gonna stick it in the oven here. I'm gonna set the timer for 6 minutes, so I'll remember to stir it halfway through. While that is baking, you can then get your baking pan ready. I use the parchment paper. You're gonna kind of press it in here, and you're gonna leave the sides kind of hanging over like that. It's gonna help you get the granola bars out at the end. Then you're gonna take that baking spray, just gonna lightly coat the inside of it, and you can set that to the side. So then we're just gonna wait until that is ready. Mix it up, stir it up halfway in between, and then bake it for another 5 to 6 minutes. And then at the end, I like to actually put the broiler on for about a minute, just to kind of get that little bit of crispiness on the almonds. Okay, so I pulled my oatmeal and sliced almond mixture from the oven. Again, I did put it on broiler for about the last minute to minute and a half. I like to get just that little bit of crispiness on the almonds. I think it makes the granola bars have just a little bit more crunch to it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this mixture and you're going to put it into a bowl you have off to the side here. Now you do wanna make sure that this is completely cool before you start putting more ingredients into the oatmeal mixture. So I did have mine sitting there a little bit before I restarted it, but if not, make sure you're just leaving it in the bowl here for a few minutes to get nice and cool. So while that is cooling, you can then make your other mixture. So you're going to take 2½ teaspoons of brown sugar. That's all the sugar that goes into this whole pan of granola bars, which is awesome. Then you're gonna take a ½ of a teaspoon of salt, a ½ of a cup of honey. Now honey is a natural sweetener, so it's really great to use that when you can in recipes versus adding a whole bunch of sugar into it. Then you're going to take your egg whites, 2 egg whites. You're going to make sure that you have a whisk, and you want to make sure that you whisk those together really well. Should be kind of light and fluffy. I'm going to add that in. Then you need a ½ a cup of oil. So you can either use canola oil or olive oil. Today I have olive oil here in my pantry, so that's what we're gonna go with. Finish one bottle, off to the next. We use a lot of olive oil in the house. That's what I use most for my cooking. Then you're gonna dump that in. Now you're gonna wanna stir this around really good, obviously with the honey in there. It's gonna be kind of like a thick, almost syrup-like substance. So get that nice and stirred up. And then, as long as your oatmeal is dry enough, we are going to do a ½ a cup of the ground flaxseed inside of your oatmeal mixture. This is also also healthy to add into recipes where you can. I'm gonna add that in. And then we are going to take 1 cup, and this is the miniature chocolate chips. So since I have a half a cup, oops, need to open that a little more. Since I have a half a cup, measuring cup already out, I'm just gonna fill that twice for our cup. Saves on some dishes later. So there is a half a cup, and then this will equal a cup. Then you're gonna take that, and you're gonna stir that up good. So as you see, you have your chocolate chips, your oatmeals, almonds, your ground flaxseed. So once that's mixed up into a good mixture there, you're then going to take your liquid mixture and pour that in. I always think these smell so good when they're baking. I think it's the honey in them. All right, and you're just gonna take that, you're gonna stir that up good. Make sure that all of the oatmeal pieces are saturated so they stick together when you bake them. Make sure you're reaching all the way down to the bottom of the bowl. Okay, mine is mixed up well, so then you take your sprayed pan that you had from the beginning and you're going to dump it in here. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can either like wet your hands and use that to push this down, or I like to take just like a spatula and you're gonna press it down. Make sure you're leaving those corners, you're leaving that edge. That's gonna help you pull that out at the end. And again, we have our oven set at 325. And I should mention that this should be like firmly pressed down. That's gonna really help all those ingredients stick together so that they can be in the form of a bar. So make sure that whether you're using your hands or a spatula, that you're really pushing that down to give it a firm bottom. Okay, so this is how it should look before you go into the oven. I'm gonna stick it in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. You should see just a real light brown to the top. And then we're gonna take it out and you're gonna let that cool for 2 full hours. And then I'll show you how to cut them into bars. Okay, so my granola bars have been cooling for at least 2 hours. So you can just take the pan, pull on the parchment paper, and it should pull it right out of there. And then you're gonna wanna lay that on some cutting sheets or a cutting board. And then you're just gonna take your knife and you're gonna cut it down lengthwise all the way across. And you can make these kind of whatever size you want. I kind of try to make them close to what they would be like in packaged bars. So you're gonna cut those all the way across, and then I usually cut them in 3 different lines. So then you have your nice, yummy granola bars. These will be eaten up super fast today after school, dance, cheer. They're great if kids have practices, or my girls are both cheerleaders, dancers. When they have performances, you put them in their bag. When they aren't able to get their regular meals, they can at least have a nutritious snack. Let me know what you think. The recipe will be in the description.